Hey there, you've just caught me shooting demons from hell just off screen here. You see, I've been playing quite a lot of Doom recently, and I've managed to accidentally open up a portal to the underworld in the process. So while I'm dealing with this mess, why don't you stick around here and watch this video I made on the relentless chaos shooter. Need a better gun. Back in the late 2000s, cool, do you remember those times, eh? Weren't they great? Realistic shooters were all the rage. The incredible success of Call of Duty and Battlefield set a trend in the games industry that led every company developing an FPS to lose any sense of identity and become a realistic grey-brown military affair with zero personality. And yeah, most of them were fairly competent, but they're not, you know, interesting. I mean, I'm not saying COD and Battlefield weren't good either, but when there's absolutely nothing else available in that AAA market that adds variety to the genre, clearly something is wrong. As the latest generation of consoles was released, things didn't seem likely to change. Call of Duty Ghosts and Battlefield 4 were both launch titles for the PS4 and Xbox One, and we also had the Sony exclusive quasi-sci-fi Killzone Shadowfall. It was all a bit meh. And then suddenly a couple of years ago, signs started to emerge that changes were occurring in the genre. First there was Titanfall from Remedy, the guys behind Modern Warfare. It had parkour, jetpacks, and bloody mechs you could pilot, a world away from the shooters most gamers of the last generation were used to. Soon after, Blizzard announced it was making a MOBA with hero shooter stylings that looked like a futuristic version of Team Fortress 2, entitled Overwatch. It looked goofy, had bags of character, and tons of verticality. But that wasn't all. Gearbox announced a similar looking game called Battleborn. Epic Games introduced their own third-person version of these, called Paragon, as well as offering up an updated and remastered version of Unreal Tournament. And of course, Bethesda took to their first ever E3 conference to show off a reimagined and rebooted version of the greatest run-and-gun chaos shooter of them all, Doom. I have to say actually, on initial impression I wasn't particularly enamoured with the Doom trailer. I mean, yeah, it looked gory and the shooting seemed competent and the art design looked great. But it just didn't seem to evoke that sense of what made Doom so great. The fast pace, the relentless aggression, the freedom of movement, the sense that every encounter was this war of attrition. So to be honest with you, I just sort of let it pass me by and didn't really think it was going to be anything special. But oh, how wrong I was. From the minute the game starts, Doom gives you a gun and a room full of enemies, and tells you to start killing. And that pretty much sets the tone for the rest of your time with it. Every room you walk into presents a new set of enemies. Some are quick and nimble, others slow and powerful, some fly about in the air, others charge from the ground. You are given an increasingly powerful army of weapons, all of which feel fantastic to use, and loads of power-ups, environmental hazards and throwables to use. Then there's the movement. For a start, you're always running, no matter what. You also gain the ability to double jump, and often you're thrown into rooms full of jump pads or portals, making aerial combat a genuine and utterly joyful experience. The art design is stellar, the music is as f***ing metal as you'd want it to be, and there's even a sodding narrative. A good one! Doom is the sort of game that I wish we'd had 10 years ago, just when Call of Duty and Battlefield were really starting to take hold. I was never really into the precision of those games, the tactical awareness that you needed to have, the foresight required to find the best vantage points on the map, and then hold on to them for as long as possible. I mean, for millions of round of people, and maybe you as well, that worked. But I just never found it very fun. Doom, on the other hand, Doom's fun. And it's not alone either. Just look at the success of Overwatch. Okay, it had a marketing campaign more powerful than a megalomaniac trying to take control of the most powerful nation on Earth, but that doesn't detract from how good the game is. I mean, each of the 25 characters is totally unique, but feels incredibly balanced in most matches. The range of weapons and attacks scales incredibly well with skill level, and each one feels wonderful to use. The pace of the game is as frenetic as any of the great arena shooters it's trying to emulate, and the movement of verticality again is spot on. It's a fabulous example of just how to make this sort of game, and more importantly, it's proved incredibly popular. It's funny that. A game with a simple and joyous set of mechanics that anyone can pick up and have a blast with is popular. Doesn't matter what it looks like, doesn't matter how realistic it is. If anything, it's actually better for not following those principles. So why did games like this just seemingly disappear during the PS3 and Xbox 360 era? Well, I'm afraid to say, it's those big boys that have got to take the blame. The meteoric success of Call of Duty and Battlefield led almost every major studio and publisher to strive to emulate their success. You can imagine them piling in focus groups of 14-year-old boys and asking them what they liked about it. Mainly shooting people, I'd guess. But the realism, the focused and elitist multiplayer, the tactical elements, all surely would have come up. Companies would have been stupid not to take from these and try and incorporate them into their own games. I mean, ultimately they want to make money, and if that means selling the product they think people will like, so be it. But I mean, look at this early trailer for what Doom was going to be. I mean, bloody hell, talk about a corporation ruining a legacy. I still find it astounding that at no point did any publisher think about backing a game that stood out from this evidently saturated FPS market by doing something different. But that's the way it was. Seems like a whole host of missed opportunities to me. At least now we get to enjoy a much greater variety of shooters than ever before. The realistic military shooters are still out there, but now we've got a much larger variety of choice. If run and gun MOBAs with colourful characters are your thing, then play Overwatch. Or Battleborn, sorry, Battleborn's also out. If you love mechs and free running, Titanfall 2 will be out later this year, including a single player campaign to indulge in. But if you're like me, and love speed, reflexes, and utter carnage, then for God's sake, buy Doom. Oh, and don't forget, the same company have also announced a new Quake game. Oh boy. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel for all the latest from here at Gamer Infinite, and follow me on Twitter as well, at MTH Simpson. Right, I better go deal with this portal to the underworld. I'll see you next time.